Live.
All right. We should be live, Don.
We are live. That's,
Let me
that's what the
check
little
here.
red box up in the. We've been live for 10 seconds, 11
All
seconds,
right.
12. Are live. That's,
Let me
that's what the
check
little
here.
red box. Wait a minute. Why do I have echo?
All right. Do you got the YouTube open? Make sure you mute that. Hey, Ed. How's it going?
I'm going to try again. Am I echoing?
I don't hear you echoing.
I'm not echoing. There's Paul Lou. Okay, I
Hey,
think I'm
Paul.
okay. Can you hear me all right? Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. I think you might have froze, though. We might have lost Don. Hey, PJ. This is my first, just kind of a test stream here with StreamYards. So I hope you guys can hear me okay. I think Don froze. Yeah. Hey, Ed.
we're back.
Yeah, you're back. I don't know. You disappeared for a second. You froze up.
You know what? You talk. I'm going to get out and come back in.
No, you're fine now.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Looks like you're fine.
All right, I can delete this message.
Yeah.
Okay.
How's it been going, man?
Man,
How you been doing?
I'm great. Had good weather today. Played golf. Played bad golf, but played golf nonetheless. Came home, took my old man nap, had dinner, and now we're gonna talk some Fractal FM9. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Fractal. Yeah.
Yeah, Lars expanded his equipment.
Modeler. Yeah.
Second
Yeah.
modeler.
Did I tell you too that I got another guitar?
Oh no! What'd you get?
Here,
NGD. All right.
You're
The hell
gonna
with the fractal. Let's see the guitar.
you're gonna freak out on this.
Cheers, everybody. A little Chardonnay action going here.
So look at this thing.
Oh my God!
Look, the headstock broke off.
The headless horseman.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see here with but yeah.
It's a 7-string.
It's a 6-string.
Looks the neck looks really fat. I mean,
look at the neck. Look at this. It's
side.
square. Could you tell that? Dude,
What is that?
It's like a trapezoid. It's a Stromberg. It's their type of neck. It's look at even twist kind of. So look at the frets.
Somebody did that at NAM, was looking at those at NAM.
Look at the frets are like fans. Can you tell how they're
tilted? Yeah. Well, that's what it looks from not front to back, from side to side. That neck looks really fat, is it?
Well, it kind of is. Like but it's because it's square. Here.
No. I'm talking about the width from the east.
Oh, from here to here?
Yeah,
like here?
Yeah.
No, it's not too
really
bad.
Fat, especially down past the 12th fret.
No, it's not too bad. No, it's not.
Cool.
It's not too bad.
What brand is it?
It's a Stromberg.
Stromberg.
Yeah. Wow. So it's like a patented neck that this guy has. You think it'd be weird, but your thumb and everything just fits on it perfect.
How long?
And it's so light. I've only had it for about a month now, maybe 3 weeks even.
Okay.
But it's a floating trim too. I mean, this thing just stays in tune. You tune it from down here because you got to cut your strings off up there.
Right.
But yeah, dude, I'm enjoying it. It sits on your lap really good. Like you can play it this way.
I see that.
Or you can play it this way, or I'd have to tilt my camera down. But yeah. I didn't know if I told you I got this. I don't think I did.
You didn't. You didn't.
Yeah,
Very cool.
no,
did you No, you should have put that in the advertisement.
The thumbnail. Yeah, the description.
But who makes the pickups?
They got Sure in them. Even Sir. I mean Sir. Sir. Yeah. Yep. It has. I think this one. No, I think it's the other one. There's a classic one that has the Thornbuckers, like the. Hey, R2.
Man, you got a bunch.
And Rick Hefner's in here.
PJ Kobe.
PJ. Nice.
B Metal was in first.
Yeah, he was.
And Paul Lou. a
Yeah, it's
Florida
good to
buddy.
see. Good to see you guys. It was kind of just Don said, "Hey, let's go on and talk about something." So
Well,
hopefully his internet
after
was
you did that video that you got the Fractal 9, I said, "What is going on?" I thought he was a Helix guy, you know?
right.
And you know, the guy that I get all my Helix stuff from, a guy in England, Johnny Lee, he's not for everybody, but you know, if he likes a lot of reverb with the delay and all, would right up my alley.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he does Fractal and Helix, and he gives away free patches. He's a very cool dude. And I mean, I quit trying to build things on the Helix. I just take his and tweak them.
Right,
Sometimes take
right.
this out, and so I was just I was shocked that you did it, but you still use the Helix. But so
I
so far, what do you like? Do you like the FF9 better?
Yeah,
First impression?
I almost do now. Yeah, yeah, I slid the Helix to the side, but I was watching Johnny's stuff too. That's why I was like, "Oh, he got an FM9," and I was thinking about it for a while, like, you know, when they first came out with that. I can't remember because this is like the third one they've came out with because it was the FM9 and then it was the FM9 Turbo, and this is like the Turbo 2 now or something. So yeah, they keep changing so much or whatever, and I talked to Paul, like, about he has the AX8, I think, the AX8, so I was asking him about it, and you know, they're all good. The Helix is just as good, Don. I mean, you know, it's I like how this one interacts better, though, and, like, I always use do you use that editor, like the Helix
That's the
editor?
only well, when for the longest time, you know, for probably the first 6 months, maybe a year, I did everything on the floor.
Yeah.
Actually, when I first got it, I had the Helix. It's a Helix floor unit that I have. I had it on account. You know, I had it up like on a desk. Okay, because you know I was tweaking it there, and then Mitch said, "No, use the HX Edit." And then
Yeah.
I found these guys that were giving, like Johnny Lee, giving out free presets. You know that they did them. You know, built you know these great sounds. I said, well,
Right,
I got.
right,
So then once I got into the edit, I never go down. That's all I use is the edit because I got my
right.
laptop right here, and down on the floor
Yeah.
right here is my Helix. So it's you know goes USB, and now I use the Helix as my interface when I you know because basically all my jams lately have been backing tracks because I can't. Well, this thing, my PA system, I don't have the same setup I had when before I moved to Delaware.
Did you
So
ever get that worked out? Like, you're
nah,
having
well, I
no?
got I did and I didn't, and unfortunately, I sold the my humongous uh, PV speakers, 15-inch speakers, which are I have a very small room here,
Right,
uh,
right.
and I got 10-inch, and it makes a big difference. Those things, plus my I forget the brand of PA system. In the move, something happened to it, and it wasn't working. So I had to get a new PA, and this is the second PA I've gotten, and none of them. It's a sad story. But anyway, enough of that. So it looks to me from the videos that I watch, it's you got to be a little bit sharper with technology and computers and all to tweak with the FM9 over the Helix.
I would say that. That's what I've seen, or that's what that's what I seen before I bought it, but that's what I would say too, with having the Helix. The Helix is more like, what I'd say is it's more out of the box processed. Kind of that's how Line 6 is, like the old Bean. People are like, "Wow, you're getting that studio sound just like that," you know? And
Right.
that's kind of what that is. It seems like the Fractal's more like a raw amp. I'll tell you the truth, what it really kind of made me feel like is like when I was 15 and I was running my tube amp in my bedroom and I was cranking it,
Is
like
that right? So
it's
you're
like a
feeling it.
raw
You're feeling it more.
kind of a little bit. Yeah,
I have
yeah.
no idea what people are talking about when they say it put the amp pushes air, but
Well, yeah, I'm
because I've
not
never
saying
played with a big amp. I did when I was younger, but I didn't know how to play. Not that I can
eh,
play really now, but I'm a little bit better than I used to be.
you can get the Helix just to sound just as good though, man. You know, I mean, yeah, yeah, that's what Paul's saying too. But it just does. It seems a little more. And I do like the editor a little better than the Helix. I do like
Oh, you
the
do?
yeah, yeah, you know how I don't know.
Do you
It's
like
maybe
having
just
to turn the knobs
Yeah, rather
yeah.
than
See
yeah.
that kind. It's like I wouldn't like that. Just because I've been using Helix at it for so long. But if that was the first, if I would have gotten it, like if I was getting a modeler now, just from what I've listened to and all, I would probably get the Fractal over the Helix. But I got
Yeah.
the Helix, and
Yeah. But like I said, the Helix you can get is just as good as tones, man. I mean, it's just a different. But yeah, I'm playing the FM9 totally now.
so it's like Arte R2, R3. Is what's that? Is an FM3 kind of like a Helix Stomp or something, a smaller version of it?
Okay, so basically that's how many
I'm really
buttons they
mixed up.
have.
There's so many of them.
Well, that's basically how many buttons. What I'm seeing right now is like the FN3 has 3 buttons you can push for your banks and your, like how you have
Okay,
snapshots and the
right.
Helix
Yeah,
has snapshots.
you have
The
scenes in
FM,
yours.
yeah, the Fractal has scenes. Yeah, yeah. So I have 9 buttons. That's why it's an FM9 and the FM3.
Oh,
But
okay. That's
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And I think it has a little bit more DSP in it because I think
Oh, it's got that's the whole thing that
y-
that
right,
the guys the Helix gurus are all saying that Helix is what they came out the last update they had with Helix, they put some sustainer thing on there and all, and if you use any of these new things they put in there, you suck out all your DSP and you can't put as much crap as you want. Now there's different trails that you can do, but
right,
but if you use the stereo or the legacy effects, you're using up a lot of DSP. So
right.
Helix has got to come out with something, and I think they're playing. Helix is smart. They're just letting everybody else go to town, and then they'll come out with something. The Turbo Helix, or like you had the Turbo 2 or whatever Fractal.
Hey, Mitch. Hey,
There
Rogue
he is.
or
Hey,
Rogue or
Mitch.
Rogue.
Okay. Oh, cool. New name. Paul, I didn't know you had the fract. Does Paul have the fractal or he has the axe effect? See, I'm all mixed up. I did not know that. I thought axe effects was just like kind of like Helix native, where it was just a computer software or
No,
whatever you call
your Axe 3 is like a rack mount.
it.
So
Oh,
if you go that route, like the Axe 3, it's a total rack mount, and then you're gonna have to run a cable to a foot controller. See,
oh,
and that's how it always was until they started coming out with the like the foot, like the floor units or
yeah,
whatever,
right,
without the rack
right,
mount. That's why
right.
I was kind of waiting for that. And then when they did do this, that's kind of why I went ahead and jumped on it when I seen that they, yeah.
Well, so I didn't sound completely out of the loop on this fractal thing. I've watched half a dozen and we were talking about this before we came live. And a couple of the guys are saying that just the factory presets are great, and you
It,
didn't, not all of
well,
them.
not all of them. I mean, because they still do the ones that, they try to put everything it can do in there. You know what I mean? They throw
Yeah, sounds
so it
like
sounds like alien
garbage.
shit. And yeah,
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, some of that stuff's just not usable. But
I mean, 90 to, in my opinion, 98% of what Helix factory presets, and they've got every time they update it, they add, and of course, I can't figure out how to get into the artist presets because you got to do jump through a lot of hoops to get to the artist pre. But they're terrible. The Helix, it's. I've commented on a couple of people that I don't contact them anymore, but I used to, some of the guys that helped me figure out how the Helix works and did some real nice stuff. And a lot of generous guys give you free presets,
right,
but
right.
one guy even did a video, do the Helix factory presets suck, and
Yeah.
they do. I found one, like it's like the second or third one on one of the called Wild. It's a nice clean one, but anything with distortion and delay, it just looks like you said, sounds like outer space stuff. It's
Right.
just real
It
gnarly.
even the artist ones, like there's a Jeff Waters from Annihilator. There's a band that I know, and I clicked on there. It's like nothing that he sounds like it. I mean, there's none of his tones. I mean,
Right.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of, but it's all in what you're playing through, I suppose. Your speakers, your guitar, and
Well, that's the thing,
pickups,
and that's
and
why I like that guy Johnny Lee. He's the only guy that tells you, says, "Now listen, I'm giving you a free preset, but it's not going to sound the same, especially if you're here. And I use headphones when I listen to anything on YouTube, so I get the full stereo, so it sounds good. And different guitars, different cable, everything's different.
Right, right.
So a lot of people and people, it amazes me. People buy. You don't need to buy people's presets.
Right. No, you don't anymore. No, because Johnny, like you said, Johnny's are great. You just gotta like
You
if
have to
it's a little
tweak them. You have to
just
tweak this and that. Take
right.
the drive, maybe bring the low cut down or up or what. I get a little mixed up on a Helix on the edit on the low cut. If it's the bar across, if a lot of it is that cutting it or is it cutting it when you bring it back? So it's not so much. That's what I don't even understand high cut and low cut, but I know
When
it
you
affects the sound.
when you're taking that low cut and you're bringing it up to like 80, you're like trying to cut 80 off of the low end, and your low end's all the way up to about what 4 or 5, and then well not even that, and then you start getting into the your guitars only. That's what a lot of people don't really understand with modelers too, is when you start to go into the speaker cabinets, they go down to 20 hertz and up to 20,000. That's like a dog can only hear that type. So what you have to do is like on a lot of those speaker cabinets is you want to bring the low cut up to about 80, and you want to bring the high cut down anywhere from like 10 to like even down to 4 or 5. I've been doing on some of mine, but that's just going to make it
brings out a lot of takes away
the brittle
fizz the brittle, what I call fizz.
Right. Yeah. But people, if they don't do that, then their presets sound really, like you said, frizzy but you got to tweak that stuff to where, yeah.
Ed B says Jeff Wooders, another disappointing Annihilator preset. Must be a
that was the one that I was talking about.
That's the one
Jeff
you were talking
Waters.
about. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't know that band. Are you running stereo out straight to the interface?
I didn't see that one even.
That's R2, R3 is asking that.
Yeah, that's R2. I'm running mine to a Focusrite, so I'm running 2 XLRs out to. I was using 1/4 inch, just guitar cables, but I went ahead and went with XLR to the.
You notice any difference?
Well, since I went for a whole different modeler, I should have did that with the Helix. I should hook the Helix back up and see if there's any difference, but I don't think there would be. I mean, and then I bought 2 expression. This thing didn't come with an expression pedal like the Helix has one built in. Yeah, no, it don't have any. So
it doesn't have a foot switch on the side of it?
A foot pedal, an expression pedal? No.
You're kidding me.
No. So I bought 2 of them.
Oh, okay, cool.
So you can hook them up. So I got 2. I got one for volume and one for like wah.
Wah. That's what I was gonna say. Volume and wah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't understand the whole volume pedal thing. I know guys use it very effectively, but a couple of patches that I've found or whatever have a volume. I found some guy. It's funny. There's a guy. I think he's from Italy, and he speaks no English, but he gives free presets out.
Okay.
What a Sound is the name of his channel, I think. What a Sound. So WAS. So that's how I know it's one of his. And he has volume pedals. And the one, it's like, oh, this thing doesn't work. And then I realized that my volume pedal, which I never use, occasionally for wah, on a couple patches I found with the wah, but with the wah-wah. But so once I adjusted that, but I said, how do they make that affect the sound? Because I couldn't figure out the volume pedal.
How mine has it's a volume that turns everything down. I mean, it can turn it off or turn it down. And if you run it before the amp, it's like turning your volume knob down on your guitar to where it'll clean up the sound.
Oh, it cleans it up.
Okay. Yeah. But if you run it behind the amp, then it just turns the amp off and on. It'll just
That's what this was. That little blue thing when the Helix had was at the end of the chain.
Right. Yeah, that's probably they're just using it as for just volume on and off then. Because the reason I had one is shit, dude. When I was 18 or something, I bought a Les Paul Deluxe, and
cool.
the guy wired it to, I didn't know this though when I bought it, but the guy wired it to where the volume was straight up. You couldn't turn it down. And I didn't, I was 18. I didn't know how to work on them or nothing. So this guy was just like, go get you a volume pedal if that doesn't bother you, if you just want it straight open. And I was like, all right. So ever since then, I've like used a volume pedal.
You started with one.
Yeah, yeah.
So when are you going to do a video with the Fractal 9 and your new crazy neck guitar?
I'll do one soon here, man. I've been I've only had it for a week anyways, but I've been kind of busy too. There's been some shit that came up too. Okay, my mom moved back to my area, so I've been kind of helping her out.
That'll keep you busy.
Yeah. But yeah.
Ola England presets.
I'll have to look into that. I just got onto that. There's Fractal has a thing called Axe Exchange. So that's where I found Johnny. When you told me to look at Johnny Lee's stuff, it took you to this Axe Exchange thing, and it was free. I just signed up. It's basically like custom tone. And
custom tone of Helix, right?
Yeah, so it's the same thing where you can trade or load up presets or. So yeah, man. Once I start dialing it in, I should load up some presets.
So does the Fractal, like the Helix, have like, I don't know, what do we got? 30 some banks in the Helix and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 presets per patch or whatever bank. Do you have that many in the Fractal?
There's like, well, they do it a little different. There's like 80. There's about 90 of them.
Okay.
Because and then the preset side of it, there's about altogether. There's like 400. I could pull it up here even if you want to see
that. Yeah, that's cool. That scene thing looks really cool, but it looks like there's got to be a learning curve on that. That looks a little complicated to me.
Here, we'll just see if I can. This is all new to me doing this StreamYard. So here, we'll just try this. All right, you see that?
There you go. Cool. You got it.
So here's your presets. I got to look up at this. That's why it's going to look funny, but.
And then see, it shows you right there. So you have 8.
Okay, see how all these are on here?
That is, I was watching. This is very cool.
So this is like all your presets. This is how many they got. So they got up to, let's see, here's their last one, 383 presets. And then these were all empty. These are the ones that I'm starting to program myself.
Cool.
Right here. So
right, gotcha.
Yeah. So like
if I keep going to the right, you have more and more and more, just like the Helix.
That's where it runs out though. So this is that's the end of it. Yeah. So you could replace any of these if you wanted to too, but I mean,
but
I'm not.
But each preset, you've got 8 different choices what you can do with that preset, right?
Well, then okay, so yeah, then when you go to, let's see, we'll go to my we'll just go to my distortion here. Here's one that I did. So then you have scenes in here. So these are all the scenes that I did, which are like your buttons, you're basically.
So you can tweak what you have, what's showing here along the, with all the squares in the middle, you can have 8 different variations of that same thing. You can add or subtract, right?
Right. So like you can see like these are like the Helix. These are your, like, here's a pitch, here's a chorus.
Right.
Like here's your chorus if you wanted to turn that.
Right.
And then like if you go to a different preset, like let's see, the next one would be my lead. So you'll see this delay come on. Hold on. So see how that delay turned on?
Right. Yeah.
That one, then it'll turn back off if I go to the rhythm. So that's like I'm pushing pedals down here is what I'm doing. Like, and then here's a pitch. This is like, but here's what I was going to say on the cabs too. Like you always want to roll that low cut up a little bit and roll the high back, because when it first starts,
the high cut is what makes a big difference for me.
Right.
Get rid of some of that fizz.
Right. But yeah, I don't mind, the knobs here. And if you like, if you turn this up or turn it down, you can always go in here and type what you want in there too. If you want to get, like, my delay has 500. If I mess
time out. Hey, R2, if you haven't left, R2, R3 locking nuts getting tornado warnings.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Be safe, dude.
Yeah, be safe, man.
Now another guy that I follow on Helix, and he also does. He has the FM9, I guess, or one of the Steve Sterlacci, and he was saying like I never used the feature on the Helix, the favorites. Like once you find a delay you really like and you set it up with whatever, you can store that so that you next time you make a preset, you can just bring that in without having to, click on the delay and then tweak the delay to your liking, right?
Like make a template basically, or like
Well, it's
save.
called in Helix, it's called a favorite, but what
Okay,
you have,
a
but it's
library,
library is
like
this.
right here.
He
That's
says
the
it's
same
much more
thing.
intuitive, but it's much better in the Fractal because it's just easier to you can drag it up real quick. Whereas with the Helix, it's not hard, but he was showing the reasons why he likes the FM9 over the Helix, but he plays live, and his wife's a country singer, so he
Oh, you're
plays with
talking
her
about
band.
Steve
Sterlacci,
Stellaci.
Sterlacci,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
and he did a thing. He did one why I'm giving up the Helix for the FM9, and then another one why I like the Helix, why I'm still using the Helix live or whatever. And,
right, right,
and like when he goes out live, he uses the Stomp. He doesn't take the big box. He just uses the Helix Stomp,
right,
probably the
right.
XL, because it's not as big and heavy. That's the problem with these things. They're big and heavy.
At one point, I think he was running his wife through that thing too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's when
like
he
they were
uses the
both.
big. When he uses, well, I think he can do it with the Stomp too. It's what these guys figure out. There's Dwight Bailey, the
Hey,
Hitman. What's
yeah, I
up,
was just
man?
gonna say, hey, Dwight. I said hi to Rogue. I hope he heard me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
think he did.
it's different, man. It's it's I can here. I'm gonna set this back down for her.
Yeah, put it on a good stand.
I had to buy a funky stand for it. I had to buy a
Hey,
really funky stand for that thing. The
oh
way it is.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Because of that shape.
yeah, yeah.
Did you come in late when me and Mitch did our show a couple weeks ago?
Uh, I was there. I think I was there watching. I mean,
Did
the
you
whole
see? Did
time.
I when I showed my guitar? What happened from the guitar stand or
Yeah.
what
Hey,
it's
let's
called?
talk about that. Yeah, yeah, dude.
So now I
Don,
have
it
this.
did
Now
it.
I
It did
have
it to
this.
mine too.
Well, that's the thing. And what's funny, and as much as there's a lot of hate to Scott Grove, and now he's so weird. I don't even sub him anymore. But he's the one that got me into all this. He warned me about this, and I think you can see, right?
It looked like it took the paint off.
Oh yeah, it's down to the wood. It's down to the on both sides. And what happened is the rubber wore through to the metal that's underneath it, and that's what did it.
Well, I tell you
But
the
the rubber on guitar stands, like these are, this is not a real high. This isn't like Hacks RO or anything like that. But I mean, it's a what $2,000 guitar or
sure,
20
sure.
whatever it was.
Yeah,
Okay, it's got nitro or whatever they put nitro finish
nitro
or
on it.
whatever,
Right, right.
which is I don't. That was a big thing that he hated, that Scott Grove hated about Gibsons, and he warned me about that years ago. I mean, this is back in 2013, I think, or
It is the
whenever I
rubber.
first got into it.
It is a
And it,
rubber though, because dude, it like here I can show you. I don't think the lighting's gonna show you though. And I got it on one of those Fender stands. Those that they say are all good for all the material,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if you can see. Do you see this
Uh,
black stripe? Like
no,
right,
yeah, yeah, no,
they're
it's a
like
shadow.
right
No, you
here.
can't see it. You can't see it.
No, that little, but it literally like colored this whole area black
Wow,
from
that's
sitting there. And then I
amazing.
got a Flying V that's white too, and it did the same thing yours did. It put like it didn't go to the wood though, but it 2 black marks up here. So
Well,
then I
mine
took
went
it
all.
out.
Mine's all the way through to the wood, and I just know
I
it's.
took it out of that stand and I put it in one of these over here that it's up against the wall and it rests about right here. Dude, it cracked the whole paint across it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so anyway, but I mean, that Les Paul, I mean, eventually one day I could get rid of all my guitars and just keep the Les Paul, and I would keep the Epiphone with the Lollar because I love those Lollar pickups. Uh, I've
Yeah, that
almost
sounds
toyed with,
good. Yeah.
getting the same pickups and giving it to Jesse and having him put them in the Les Paul, but I'm not going to do that. It's I like the little. It's got to be a little difference. I
Different.
don't want them to
Yeah.
sound this. I don't want them to sound the same too much.
No. That's why I have different guitars because they sound
Right.
different. Yeah.
So I got to ask you what you said. You got the Les Paul when you were a kid. Was it white?
No, I had a Sunburst, like,
Sunburst.
basically it
Okay.
was a
Yeah.
74 Deluxe. It looked just like,
Wow. And you don't have it anymore?
no.
You dumb shit.
I know. You know what I paid for it even? Only like $470 or
Right.
$450.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. The thing was, though, a Deluxe Les Paul has the small little humbuckers in it. Have you ever seen those? They look funny,
Yeah.
kinda,
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
got the
Yeah.
smaller humbuckers.
Oh,
Well, this
okay.
guy had already routed them out, though, and put
Oh.
in DiMarzio, like, super
Oh, cool.
distortions,
Oh,
and
okay.
I think what the deal was he wired it wrong, and
He was
that's why
probably.
the volume didn't work right.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, super distortion. He was probably back in the South. He was probably a big Al Di Meola fan.
I wonder. Well,
That's what Al Di Meola used in his Black Les Paul with Return to Forever when because I was into them very big in the like 75, 76. Uh, that whole fusion thing, I went from like Allman Brothers and BB King and Eric Clapton to, you know, John McLaughlin, Al Di Meola, all the fusion guys of the mid to late 70s.
right, right.
Can't even think of half
Yeah,
of their
yeah,
names
you gotta
now.
watch that, the Gibsons, because they
All right, Mitch's Les Paul is safe.
yeah, it's
But
weird
if you
too
have,
because
if you listen, folks out there, if you have a guitar with a nice finish, nitro finish or whatever, the, put a towel or some cloth on your guitar stand. Even if you have one of those rack ones, I'd do it.
now look at
You
this,
know,
though. I put this one on there. I mean, it's Explorer,
right?
Gibson, Nitro, and everything, and it hasn't colored, it hasn't cracked or done nothing.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, dude. Same stands.
Oh, for God's sakes! I don't know, man. I'd be putting cloth on there. I'd be putting an old used washcloth or
Well, I did
some
on
kind of
that one
cloth.
after it was too late, after I already did it, but yeah, yeah.
All right, well, listen, you got to do some jam videos with this crazy guitar you got and the FM9.
I will. I even got some video. Well, it was with the Helix with that the Stromberg, the weird guitar, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. And then I just haven't got time to like put it in a video thing and edit
Now,
it,
did you buy that
but
thing new or
yeah, through Sweetwater.
and you
Yeah.
got green? That's a
Cause
look.
yeah, it was a cool green
What
though,
were your
man. I
options?
mean,
It's cool. It looks good. What
y-
what what were your options?
I think they had maybe a red and then they had pearl white and then they had regular like a wood
I'm
kind of or
shocked you didn't
whatever.
get the
And
pearl white.
no, I like the green really popped out, man.
Cool.
I
That's
don't
cool.
know. I don't know why, but
Do you
yeah.
still have the gem?
Yeah, yeah,
I can't believe you bought another guitar after that one. I'd love to have one of those things. I think
yeah.
they're cool, but they're Floyd Rose, right?
Well, it's a Edge. It's their type of
Well, that style, yeah. See, I can't deal with that. I have no idea
it's
what to do with that bar.
oh man, it's
The
fun.
trip bar. I mean, you can take it out, but then you got to tune at the bottom and
Did you know I had one of these too?
uh
It's a Joe Satriani.
no. That's the
Yeah.
Staniac?
I got one with the Sustainiac.
Oh, you prick. That
This one
guy
has a
Davidas uses one of those
this
things.
one
He
has a
used to anyway.
Sustainiac. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So you can make that thing just hit a note and it'll last forever, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
I think that's a very cool feature.
yeah, yeah.
Now, when you play, do you know how to use that bar to do all those weird squeals and stuff?
I'm okay with the whammy, not the greatest, I'm
Okay.
I'm still learning, man, too, Yeah.
My Strat had one, but I left it at a buddy's house back in the 80s. never got it back, and I had that get. You in like year before we got married, I had a buddy that lived in New Jersey, and we used to jam, and we were terrible, but we played, and I had a what guitar did I? I had that Strat, and I couldn't figure out how to get a Strat to sound good. I like to get humbucker. I like humbucker sound.
Yeah, yeah,
But I appreciate single coils. Don't
yeah.
misunderstand me.
Me too.
So
Yeah.
I told my wife we were going up there, and I mean we used to do a lot of things that you're not supposed to do, and it was real fun times. But and the girls would be downstairs, we'd go upstairs and jam. But I wanted a good guitar, and I said, let me just rent a Les Paul for the weekend. So we went there to this music store right up the street from where we lived, Bill's Music House, Mitch, and they had a black Les Paul. Like I said, this is I was a big Al Di Meola fan. Black Les Paul, yeah, that's what I want. And the guy talked me into, and my wife said, just buy. They were like $800. That's how much a Les Paul was, like in '87. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
And it was nice one. It had ebony fingerboard, and because I had an SG when I or 10 years earlier with it, and I like the feel of ebony fingerboard, so fretboard. So my wife said, just buy the thing. We'll buy the thing. We'll do. They had a loan thing you could do through
Right.
the music store.
Right,
And
right, right.
I was shocked. I said, all right, let's. And we weren't even married yet. We were living together, but we weren't married yet. So I, I, I want this Les Paul. The guy puts his WRC Gibson, which is their like super strat, single, double. And it had a ebony fingerboard. It was black and it was nice. And he kept pushing it on me. And I'm a friggin' car salesman, and I got sold. And I bought the WRC instead of the Les Paul.
Really?
Biggest mistake. And I like that guitar. I eventually traded that to Jesse for the Gelvin, which. But it's like I got my Les Paul. I got my blue one. That guitar, I'll never.
That's a
I
cool
don't care.
guitar.
As
Sounds
long as I don't
good.
drop it, as long as I don't drop it and break the goddamn neck like my brother's cats did to my two SGs when I was or one SG, did it twice, but when I was in high school. But
Oh, really? Broke the
anyway.
headstock off?
Oh yeah, I come home and it's like, my guitar's on the ground. Well, I didn't know you cut off the end of the strings. Well, guess what? A cat loves to play with.
Right.
If you have a cat, folks, and you change your strings, clip off the ends because they'll get up there, especially with the Gibson, and they'll play with the strings, the big long things hanging out, and they'll eventually knock it over and it'll crack the neck. And I had a buddy who was real good with wood. He fixed it perfect. The intonation was good. The cat did it again.
Really?
And it
didn't broke it again?
It didn't even have a string hanging out. Yeah, it happened twice. Or no, maybe I knocked it over because I was drunk. I think I broke it the second time. And he fixed it again, but then, what the hell?
That's funny. They say sometimes they're stronger after they get fixed.
Okay. Dwight says he uses I've heard of these Hercules guitar stands.
Yeah, I think I have one of those actually too. I liked how the fender hangs them, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, Mitch, I just got to say, Mitch, you're lucky that if you're keeping that on stand without a cloth behind it, I think you're nuts. Put a cloth behind it. You wiggle it. The bar. Okay.
Yeah, he's talking about.
Yeah, the bar. Okay.
That's funny.
So, what else is going on there in Nebraska?
Not much.
Now, you work full time. You're a youngster yet, so you're still working full time, right? Or do you work from home?
Yeah, I work from home.
Oh, well, cool. Good for you.
Yeah.
Now, are you eventually going to have to go back, or is the way what you do? You can do it from home.
Yeah, I can do it from home.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you always worked from home, or was that?
No, I worked. My last job was a motorcycle shop. I worked out. Okay. I worked a couple motorcycle shops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was riding then. I rode. I haven't rode for 8 years now, probably. I'm too scared with people texting and stuff. I just don't. I don't know. I don't want to die, I guess.
I'll tell you what, I I understand that people that want to get exercise, walking and jogging and all that. But first of all, if you're jogging, you're really, you're really sucking wind in and out. Why do people jog on the road, especially on major roads where there's all the cars? They're sucking in all that exhaust. But here's the thing. That's just. But even walking around, people people like you said, people are texting on their phones, and you can tell when they're texting because the car always veers off to the right. It always, you're following somebody in the car in front of you, just kind of moves over maybe 3 or 4 feet to the right. They're on their goddamn phone. I think people are crazy, and you're smart. I'm scared of motorcycles. I saw an accident when I was a kid, and never. I mean, I got an e-bike. That's my motorcycle. 20
I got
miles
one
per
now
hour.
too.
20
I got
miles
one
per
now
hour,
too.
baby. 20.
Yeah.
I can get it up to 22.
Oh, really? Mine will go 20.
If I really pedal hard, I mean, all out pedal, I've gotten it up to 22 miles per hour.
Mine will do 28.
Downhill.
Really?
Huh? Yeah.
Mine will do 28, dude.
Oh, will
Going
it?
uphill.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a
No, I love that thing.
Rad Rover 6 or something with big fat tires.
That's what I got. Big fat tire bike.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Do you ride it a lot?
Not as much as I should, but I do. From here to the boardwalk at the beach. It's a little tiny boardwalk. This isn't the big Ocean City, Maryland. Of course, you don't even know the East Coast probably, but there's a small boardwalk, and the beach is about 8.5 miles from my house. I did that once. I didn't go to the beach as much as I'm so close to the beach and I love the beach, but I didn't go as much because I was working so hard on my backyard. I had half of my backyard was just like woods and shit from people dumping their bushes and their trimmings of their bushes and stuff.
Right.
So I cleared all that out, and then we had these big trees knocked down, and I had a new fence put in. Now we got to get a new what do you call that, irrigation system, and then sod put in. So I didn't go to the, but this summer I'll be driving to the beach a lot. I got to get a chair that is low to the ground that folds up, because I took this chair to the beach, and it's like when you said, I felt like I'm the old man at the beach. All these kids and all these people around there, and I'm sitting up in a chair. You know how high a normal chair sits up. A beach chair, you got to be down on the ground. So I need to find a portable chair. But I'll start riding my bike more. But I love them. I think it's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Down in Florida, it's all flat, and they got bike trails for miles. I mean, I went from Dunedin to Clearwater. It was about 10 miles.
We got some good bike trails in around here. Yeah, real good ones. Yeah.
Mm.
And I live right like only about 8 blocks from a lake. And then I can I can ride around.
You got trails through the lake and all.
Yeah.
Too, right? Dirt trail.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, we got a park around the corner. I got to get out there. Toby checks you have Gibson Les Paul on cloth in the next side. Mitch.
Is that Mitch too?
Oh, that's Mitch. Oh, Mitch, do you have an alias? Is that the same? Yeah, okay. Mitch is playing. Yeah, okay. Okay, watch this guy. This Toby text streaming. When I this is my idea for him to do this live stream FM9, because I was shocked that Lars bought the FM9, because I knew he was a Helix user, and he gets, if you listen to especially his last few songs that he's done, his originals, he's got really good sounds, and those are all Helix, right?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
You get great sounds out of the Helix. So I was like shocked when you put up the video that you got the FM9.
I thought you would be. Yeah.
So I emailed Larry about, let's do a stream and talk about Helix versus the FM9, or basically about the FM9. Of course, I didn't know we were going to get this cool looking guitar to talk about too, but I don't know what. Chardonnay's kicking in. I have brain cramp, brain freeze.
How
Had
do you
internet freezer.
You were just saying that.
Oh. So when I reached out to you last week, okay, I had forgotten that I told Mitch the week before we'll go every other week. So tomorrow night, me and Mitch are do a little commercial for me and Mitch. Tomorrow night we're doing 8:00.
Are you going live tomorrow?
Show. Yeah.
Are you? I thought you guys went last week already. Did you?
2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. All right.
See how quick. See how quick.
God, I know, dude.
Wait till you get to my age. I heard something today. Long days, fast years. It just time flies. The days seem really long, but like when you get this age and you're not working and all, my wife had to get this little clock we have in the dining room hutch, which you can see from the living room and the kitchen. Okay, it has the day and the date because we can't fake. You think it's Saturday and it's Thursday.
Right.
It's Monday and you think it's Friday.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, tomorrow night, 8:00, me and Mitch will be on. If you guys want to hear some real nonsense, but at least we've got some good content here talking about. That's cool that you could bring up the fractal thing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have a clue. That's why I wanted you to run this because I would have no idea how to bring that stuff up.
Yeah. I didn't know what channel you wanted to do it on. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever had anybody on my channel. This is the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you did it well. Hey, Mitch, I gotta call you tomorrow because I didn't have to do a pop-up. It's very strange. I can type in hello here. I'm just going to do it real quick. I can type in a comment, and I didn't have to bring up the pop-up chat from YouTube and drag it over. And I'm seeing everybody's comments, and you can see I just typed in hello that I can type in. So we see if we got to talk about that.
How do you put so let's see if I want to put Johnny Lee's. Let me try something here. Since we are on here, we'll just try some shit. Let me find.
If you have a window open for YouTube?
Yeah. So I'm trying to find.
Do you want just his channel or the video?
Yeah, like his channel, if I can find.
Okay, so if you just open up YouTube, put in Jonny Lee.
Then where do I have to paste it over here in this one? Let me try this.
You have to copy it and paste it in the chat box.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. Check this guy out. This guy is Johnny Lee Guitar. Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
He is very generous. Now, he's not for everybody. You can get a little raw, not too bad, but he gets he's in the Facebook Helix Facebook group or something. I think Facebook, but he gets a lot. People give him a lot of shit because he on every preset that he does, he pretty much puts a tile verb, which is not, he says is not a reverb, it's something else, but he puts it on the end of every preset that he does, just about.
Right.
And people give him a hard time about it. Like one guy in the comments said, "What you're killing the overall sound of it," and he gets tired of people in the Facebook group giving him a hard time and people in the comments that he probably deletes.
I bet.
And so he can get a little raw with discussing their opinions of what he says. But he's the only guy of all the different modelers and all, because I watch reviews of all the different, the Boss and the Zoom and name a modeler. Okay. What's the Kemper, whatever.
The Kemper,
a little different. Yeah. That's a little different. But
or the Quad Cortex.
Cortex. There you go.
Yeah.
He's the only one that tells people that, listen, it's not going to sound like what you're hearing right now. It'll sound, you have to tweak because you have a different guitar, you have different cables, you have a different interface, you have a different this, you have a different that. And none of these other, I've said for the longest time, a lot of these guys, especially the ones that are selling their presets, they're probably got the helix going through a two notes torpedo or whatever that does. I know a lot of the big boys use that. Two is it two notes torpedo or
That's
something?
like an IR thing, like
IR thing,
yeah,
and it
yeah,
changes the sound, but it's like they're doing a commercial or a pitch for a particular product, and when you buy it, it sounds like shit, and you thought it was going to sound just like it was when that review you saw, but
right, right.
you have to adjust this, that, and everything else
You
to make
do.
it sound the way you want it to, and you're probably still not going to get it to sound the way you heard it when they played it. And John,
It,
he tells you that.
yeah, he does.
That's
Yeah,
why I appreciate the guy. You know.
I do too. I like him. Out of all the presets, that's probably who I've used too. And then I got some from Eric, from
Oh,
uh
what happened to him? What
he
was
just
his
kind
name?
of he
This
kind
guy
of
with the mustache and a beard, and his
yeah,
son. His son was
Broadbent.
involved.
Eric Broadbent.
Broadbent, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He kind of
He like
disappeared,
joined
didn't he?
well, he joined a couple bands, I think, and then he just went to
Oh,
doing that. Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay. So he
yeah,
plays professionally, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because he was the one that he was very helpful when I first got the Helix. Like you got a
With me
Helix, you had
too.
the video, you got a
Yeah,
Helix. Now what do you do?
right.
And there's another guy that had Helix for Dummies. I can't remember who that is. He was there's so many videos. If you buy one of these things, there's guys that'll walk you through everything,
Yeah, yeah.
which is
I
what's
found a
very
guy, yeah. For the FM9, I found a guy that really he does a bunch of setups for like people in LA. He named off a few guitar players. And then there was a guy that does the did you freeze, Don? Oh, no. Okay. There
no,
was a
no.
guy
I'm just
no, there was a guy that
uh,
does you're reading the chat. There's a guy that does Neil Schoen's of Journey, and I downloaded that preset. Dude, no, it didn't sound like Neil Schoen's set,
right, right.
But here's another thing too: is I was watching that video, and Neil Schoen does a deal where he runs one of these expression pedals to his delay. And when he does, he like can just push the pedal down if he wants delay, or pull it back if he wants
Oh,
no delay
really?
on his guitar.
Mm.
Well, that preset
See, I
had
would
that.
think that he has delay on everything he plays.
No, he pulls it
No,
back a little bit, yeah,
really?
on the rhythms, I
Okay.
think, a little
Oh,
bit, but
okay.
yeah. But in that preset, it was hooked up to an external pedal, but not like how mine is, so I had to go in there and change that, but if someone would've just downloaded that, they would've been like, "Why doesn't this work? It sounds like crap," And
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
there's things like that that it's I don't know. I'm really enjoying it, though.
Yeah.
I am a
Do you
lot.
have this? Did Mitch give you this Boston pizza patch?
Yeah, yeah, he sent it to me.
I don't. I didn't. I can't. I have to re-explore the lead patch and tweak it to my liking. But without even touching it, the one I think it's acoustic. It's for acoustic guitar, whatever. There's no amp, but it sounds great. I think I put a 10 band EQ at the very end for a volume boost, and that's one of my favorite for chords. That
And are
Boston
you running
Pizza.
are you running an acoustic guitar or just running an electric
No, electric
guitar?
guitar
And it's
through it,
an
but
a simulator, right?
it's
Like an
very
acoustic.
lush, but it
Okay.
sounds nothing like an acoustic guitar to
Okay,
me.
okay,
But
okay,
it's
okay.
great for just doing like chords, you know.
Mitch, I'd say it's harder to program. It's a little more detailed, like,
Yeah, Mitch, it's
man, there's
better. It's better than the Helix, I think, but it's like you wouldn't have too much problem with it because they have like a Helix. What's it called for Fractal? Helix Edit.
it's called the Fractal. It's just called Fractal
Fractal.
Editor. Yeah.
Their editor is very is it's
Well, like
there's
here,
things
here,
that
I'll
are
bring it up
better.
again.
Yeah, bring it up again. Bring it up again. I think he had this up before you came in, Mitch. So
Uh,
that's Helix Edit with the Fractal version.
so here's the deal. Like with Helix, you have about this would be your sliders, your presence, your
Yeah,
treble,
yeah,
and everything like that. But man, you can go in here to your power amp section or your power tubes. Like your tube amps have 6L6s, or you could change
yeah.
them
You
to
can't
any
do
of
any of
these.
that with a Helix.
No,
You
you
don't
can't
have any
do.
of that, right?
Yeah, no. But are you going to go into that? Probably not. But you could. But there's other things too. Like here's something like this chorus. Now on the Helix, a chorus, you just change your depth, your delay time, your rate. But over here, there was this auto depth, which was on low, which you can turn off. I couldn't get a good chorus setting at all at first because I think it was on high, and I turned it off, and then I finally got it to start sounding good. But the low sounds good too. But there's a few things like that that they give you a little more options that are, yeah.
Mitch, you would do good with this, but somebody like me would have a very hard time with all that. I think it's you got to know what you're doing, and somebody that's worked with amps, with actually turning the knobs. Amps have some of the amps have so many different knobs. It blows me away because they have what EQ built in and all. But it's not for really the Fractal 9 is not for somebody like me who's basically technologically an idiot.
Well,
I say that on because listen, there's been a couple times Mitch has been in one. We've done the team viewer thing, and he's tried to show me. He tried to show me how to do shortcuts with window, and I didn't take enough notes because I've got shortcuts. I don't even know how to get into them or what to do with them. I cannot, like, when there's an update with Helix, Larry. Okay, you got to back it up, right?
Right.
Before you hit okay. So I do that. And I can find all the patches that I had before, but I can't figure out how, after I do the update, how to bring everything back. So every time they have an update, I have to start from scratch, except I know how to go into Windows, and I have the patches are saved, so I know how to load them back in, but I have to rebuild. Before the 3.70, I did okay, but I had to restart over. But I must have had probably at least 30 of Johnny Lee's presets in there, okay, in different banks, right?
So
when 3.71 came out, because there was a problem with 3.70, I'd never had any problems, but I get tired of seeing every time I brought up Helix Edit, I'd get the notification that there's an update available. And I was getting tired of clicking it off. So I said, all right, let me just do it. Well, here we go again. So I have to start all over again, just bringing them back in, and which is fine. It gives me something to do. I mean, I got nothing to do. I'm tired.
Well, when I was doing them, you turned it off then, and then you pushed the two middle buttons, which was 9 and 10.
I did all that.
Okay, and then you just go up to that Helix Edit and up to the file, and you say backup or restore from a backup, and then you just pick that last one, and it'll import it in then.
All right, well, I'll try it again. I found that. I finally found that, but I had already imported them from Windows, where I'd saved them. They're in my computer. I've got hundreds of, because
I wish I had mine hooked up. I'd show you real quick.
Yeah, I know. I think I know how to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, Mitch, I was telling earlier before you came in, I was telling Larry how until you showed me the Helix Edit, I used to tweak it on the floor, but now I never touched other than to turn it on and off and tap it. Hey, did you ever get these things? Hold on a second. For your Helix?
I didn't. No, those
man,
you got that from
difference.
Okay.
Chad Boston.
Yeah, Chad Boston.
So
yeah.
I've got these are the big. This is the big one. I've got little ones coming for the front row. I felt like I haven't bought any gear, so I gotta buy something. But he makes them. He makes them. So he doesn't make them until you order them. So I probably ordered them 2 weeks ago. I still haven't seen them.
But is there a set screw in there then that screws
No, it's a magnet. It's a magnet.
Oh, okay.
So see the little. Can you see the very center?
Yeah.
That's a magnet.
Okay.
So this thing, it's got a hole. See the hole there on the back? Okay. That's the underside of it. So that just fits over, but that little magnet sticks to the floor thing.
Okay.
So he's got ones that are like, that big. I'm exaggerating a little bit.
Yeah.
Then he's got ones that are smaller for the front row. So the back row are this big, and then the front row will be that big.
Okay. So you don't, So when you step over to the back row, you don't,
especially if you're in your socks or bare feet, it's a lot friendlier to the bottom of your foot.
Right.
It doesn't matter with a shoe. 3.71 will not respond when I'm trying different. It will just stop, but I can try. That's weird, Mitch. I haven't heard that. See, people were having problems with 3.70. I haven't heard of any problems with 3.71. You should go into one of the chat rooms, Mitch. When a restart Reaper, it's okay. Huh. Oh, maybe it's a Reaper thing. So, hey, Larry, I'm about done. I need to have a cigarette.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Dan,
how many people do you have watching? Did you ever notice? Did you ever look to see?
I didn't look how many
We never did
people.
that.
No.
Well,
I didn't.
it should be right there on your StreamYard screen.
Does it say that?
Somewhere. Mitch, where's it? How many people are watching?
Don't I have to look at YouTube?
No.
It says six are watching now.
Oh, gee. Okay. I'm just curious what we peaked because we started out with about 6. So anyway, that was good. I think we bored the shit out of people that don't have a Fractal or a. Hey, show your guitar. I don't think Mitch. Did you see his new guitar? Show the new guitar again. This is that, and then you got to show the neck. That neck is blowing me away.
So it's a headless guitar.
Headless Horseman.
But the neck is square.
That is crazy. And
it is crazy.
Okay?
Look at that. Like it's
like
twisted.
It?
See how it's twisted even?
Yeah,
dude. It's
feel good. And what about the fan frets? What's that feel like?
So what that's like is basically okay, like your Gibson scale length, as you know, from here to your bridge. Is like 24 3/4,
right.
and your Fender's 25 and a half, so it's a little longer. The Fender is.
Right.
Well, this one's 25 and a half on this, but on these 3 down here, that's why they fan them. This is 25, so this is like the 25s, your PRSs. I've never had a PRS or tried one, but so basically, and people are like, well, what about your fingers? But man, how that tilts up like that, dude, it's perfect. Like it just puts your hand right, and the frets are just.
See,
dude,
to me,
I love
it. Seems like
I love it.
Anything about anything, but it seems to me that like it would go out of tune because they're fanned, but it doesn't.
No, it's really solid.
That's amazing.
Yeah. No, it's
Show
cool.
me the back of that neck again, one more time. That is crazy, and it doesn't feel goofy.
No, I mean it's weird.
What about when the first time you played it? Was it like?
Oh, it was weird. Yeah.
Is that right?
And some people say like when you're going back to a round neck, that's weird too. But it's not. It's not. It doesn't. I don't take. But you know what? Some people don't like thick necks. Like the roundness and the C, or they want thinner necks or whatever. Gotcha. That's never really bothered me with my hands. I adapt real easy.
My Telecaster has the baseball, what I call baseball bat neck.
Right.
Care less. It's just
Yeah. It don't really affect. But your thumb, how this follows your thumb, it tilts your hand. It's like it's supposed to make you like play properly, like almost. I mean, that wasn't totally intent, but I'll tell you, I could play these things for hours where my hand gets a little tired on the other guitars, but man, and just being able to like tilt it and then tilt it this way.
Does anybody make a cheap fan Fred guitar?
God, I don't know.
I'll have to do so. I'll have to look. I'll call.
And then it's a zero nut.
Jesse.
It's a zero nut too, where there's a fret up here. So here's your first fret, but there's actually a fret right here.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, what it does is it gets your action real low up here because they're just running it over a fret,
Oh wow!
So it's yeah, and stainless steel frets.
Is it ebony fingerboard?
No, they call it something else. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's like I can't remember what he called it, but yeah, it's light too, Mitch. This thing only weighs that's another thing too. It weighs like 5 pounds, like barely 5 pounds. Oh, dude, I love it.
Show how you can sit, you can angle it.
Yeah, you can play it like this. Well, here, let me. I can move my camera. So see how it can sit on your lap like this?
Yeah.
Or else it can sit like this, or else it can sit like this, or you could play it over here, like in the middle.
Well thought out.
Yeah, that's the deal. It was really, man. I'm grooving it. I like it a lot.
All right, well, we got to see it or hear it in action. I don't care if I see it or not, but I want to hear it, and I want to hear it through the Fractal.
All right. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm out, Larry.
Okay. I'm going to get out of here
Mitch,
too.
I'll see you tomorrow night at 8. And tuner, and send me the link. And thanks for having me on, Larry. That was fun.
Thanks for everybody coming and
thanks
hanging
everybody
out.
for joining us. Thanks,
Don. Yeah.
Night, Joy. All right. See you, Larry.
All right. Okay. We'll take care.